What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Raw review. This time we are at the June 14th, 1993. Let's get right into it. The show starts off with some footage from the King of the Ring pay-per-view showing that Yokozuna is the new WWF champion. In an interview, they say that they're going to celebrate on the 4th of July at a historical landmark, and Yokozuna says that Hulkamania is dead. So the last time we ever saw Hogan on Raw was with Beefcake challenging for the tag titles. Sure, he's been the WWF champion, but that's gotta be one of the worst reigns ever. Nothing of any significance ever happened with his last Hogan title run. I don't understand why they even gave it to him to begin with. If you know, please help me out here. For our first match, we have Mr. Perfect picking up a win against a jobber with the Perfect Plex. After that, we have Razor Ramon coming back out with a bag of cash for another interview with Vince McMahon in the ring. This time he's raised the stakes to $10,000 for the 1-2-3 Kid to get in the ring with him for a rematch. Tells him with that kind of money he can buy a life. I believe that the Shtick Man doesn't have to beat Razor to get the money, he just needs to give him a rematch. And I thought this match was going to happen on this episode, but it looks like they're going to be stretching it out a little bit longer. Marty Jannetty up next taking on Doink the Clown. We're going to skip to the middle of the match where Marty Jannetty hits a crossbody from the top rope for a near fall. Then Doink gets back control with a scoop power slam. Doink then climbs to the top rope and hits a sitting dive. So if you know the coup de grace from Finn Balor, it's basically that, but instead of stomping on you with his feet, Doink actually lands on his booty cheeks on the chest of Marty. Marty and Doink both fall to the outside, and he hits Doink with a super kick, but they both get counted out. Marty hits a crossbody from the apron to the outside after the match. Doink tries to get back in the ring, but Marty gives him a couple of punches to keep him out. Doink is probably the most protected superstar in the WWF. He rarely loses, and if he doesn't win, there's a reason, whether it's a countout or a DQ. I don't understand that one bit, but he is over, and I don't understand that either, why he's so over, but whatever. It's 1993, he's a clown, he can wrestle somewhat, and he has a decent character, so whatever. Owen Hart making his in-ring return on Monday Night Raw, taking on a jobber. During the match, they had the Shtick Man, aka the Kid, aka 1-2-3 Kid, on the phone. Vince lets him know of the new amount that Razor Ramon is offering him, which is now $10,000. This time he says that he accepts and is scheduled for next week. And getting back to Owen, he gets a quick win with a Northern Lights suplex. I'm not as savvy as Vince McMahon with the maneuvers in the ring, but I think that's what it's called, a Northern Lights suplex. We then get some footage from a WWF Superstars taping where The Undertaker was attacked by Giant Gonzalez and Mr. Hughes with Harvey Whippleman. They even give Paul Bearer a shot with the urn. And now they also have possession of the Undertaker's urn in that stable. Jerry Lawler beats some enhancement talent up next. I don't even care to tell you how. I usually skip these matches, and if I fast forward too far where I don't catch the finish, I usually rewind to see how they won. This time I again went too far fast forwarding, but do you guys really want me to tell you how Jerry Lawler won a match? I don't think so. But what I do think is that is the end of the show, so let's get to the awards. A quick episode there. But they did have some storyline continuations throughout the show. For the best moment, I'm going to give that to them continuing the Razor Ramon and 1-2-3 Kid storyline. It's had some good build since their first match, and I'm at the point where I'm ready to see it, and they've stretched it out the perfect amount. Razor Ramon coming out and raising the stakes to $10,000 as the sole moment, though, is what's going to get the best moment on this show. For the worst moment, I have that Yokozuna just won the WWF Championship from Hulk Hogan, and he wasn't even on the show, along with Mr. Fuji. Instead, they announced that they won't be appearing until the 4th of July. For the worst match, I have Jerry Lawler versus a jobber in what technically was the main event of the show. For the best match, I have Doink versus Marty. You guys are really sleeping on Marty Jannetty. These guys had a decent little match here. For the wackest performer, I have Jerry Lawler. I don't have any problem with him on commentary, but as a performer, as a wrestler, I just never been a fan. And finally, for the standout performer, I'm going to give that to Marty Jannetty for having a match of the night against Doink the Clown. With all that being said, I'm going to give this episode a C+ as the overall grade, close to a B, but the lack of more matches that actually meant anything or that were competitive will keep this at a C level. I've already pretty much said what the best and worst parts were in my award, so I'm not going to run down the show again. And also, hopefully by this video, I'm going to have the tally board up for you guys. This episode is going to add a new one to the good, and you can take a look at where the other tallies are so far. And with that being said, I'm out.